Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Midweek Minute. Today it is Wednesday, August 26th. Hopefully you're having a good day and a great week. And as things are going well for you and your family, just wanted to give, as usual, a couple quick updates as to where we are at as a church and also highlight our scripture passage for today, which is again from the Gospel of Matthew. I first wanted just to say that this upcoming Sunday, we will be concluding our What Do We Believe series, the series that we've been in pretty much the entire summer on the Apostles' Creed. And we're going to be looking at the resurrection of the body and the life everlasting. And it'll be kind of a cool way to just wrap up this series and looking forward to concluding this series well, and also to what we're moving on to the following Sunday. We have some really cool things planned for us going forward. And so hopefully you're able to join us this Sunday. We have lots of different options for you to join us. You can join us at the 8:30 service in the fellowship hall, right where I'm standing. You can join us in person in the sanctuary for the 10 o'clock service. You can join us online for the 10 o'clock service. You can listen in the parking lot to the radio at the 10 o'clock service. Lots of different options based on people's comfort levels and all of that. We want to do our best to make our church accessible to everybody who wants to attend. So that's why we're doing all sorts of things a little bit differently these days. So speaking of this coming Sunday, we are going to be introducing a new outreach ministry effort. This is for the Options Care Center in Jamestown, which is a pro-life pregnancy center that just cares for women in need, cares for women in crisis pregnancy situations, and partners with them and gives them the support that they need. And so we're going to be doing a fundraiser for them throughout the month of September and headed into a little bit into October. Your outreach team will tell you a little bit more about that this upcoming Sunday, but I'm excited about that. This week you will also be receiving a letter from me just describing some things that just where we're headed in the fall. Usually early September is this time of kicking off new ministries and recruiting people for new teams, and this year has just been different and weird and unusual. And so I have a letter for the church just to kind of for everybody to see where we're at, where we're going, talking about service times, talking about some of our safety guidelines, an update to that, and also kind of what we are thinking in regards to children's ministry, particularly with children's church and Sunday school, just kind of what is sort of in the works and what we have planned for the immediate future. So you'll be receiving that letter either in an email or we will have those for everybody on Sunday. So I'm excited about that, about just kind of some revamping some stuff of where we are. And I guess I'll close today with our scripture passage as we have been the past several weeks. And if you've been following these, we've been in the Gospel of Matthew. Again, like I already said, I think looking at some of Jesus' most famous teachings and just unpacking them just a little bit, giving a quick thought to them. And this passage is from Matthew 16, starting in verse 13. And it's really cool. This is a passage that has been brought up in the sermons the past few weeks, particularly a couple weeks ago, about who we are as the church. And in this section, Jesus is speaking with his disciples, and it says this. So Matthew 16, starting in verse 13. It says, "When Jesus came to the region of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, 'Who do people say the Son of Man is?' They replied, 'Some say John the Baptist, others say Elijah, still others Jeremiah or one of the other prophets. But what about you?' he asked. 'Who do you say I am?' Simon Peter answered, 'You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God.' Jesus replied, 'Blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for this was not revealed to you by flesh and blood, but by my Father in heaven. And I tell you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not overcome it. I will give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven.' And he ordered the disciples not to tell anyone that he was the Messiah." Again, a lot here. I love this passage, though. I love this passage for who Peter is. I love this passage even more for the question that Jesus asks us. He asks his disciples and he asks us the most important question that anybody could ever answer. Who do you say I am? Who do you say that Jesus Christ truly is? What are our lives telling the world who Jesus is? Is he real? Is he credible? Is his gospel true? Does he have the power to change lives and hearts and families and communities? Or is he just kind of one of the other prophets? Forgettable, disposable, optional. What are we telling people? What are we showing people and telling people through our lives, through our words, through our conversations, who Jesus is? I believe that's the most important question that anybody can answer. Who do you say I am? Really cool passage. I love this part. I was challenged by my small group this past week to sometime preach on this passage about what does it truly mean to bound things in heaven and loose things in heaven, or bound things on earth and in heaven. It's kind of a confusing passage, and I'm not going to say I promise, but I will say I will eventually try to preach on that passage and lay that out for everybody. It's a really cool part. There's also a confusing part about Jesus saying, "Don't tell anybody about me." Sometimes people get confused about that, but there's a reason behind everything that Jesus says, and it's really fun to unpack that someday. But anyway, I've now gotten to the point in the midweek minute where I start to ramble. So I will say goodbye for now. Again, reach out if you have any questions, concerns, prayer needs, praises, absolutely anything. Contact me, contact the church, and we would love to talk to you about that and address anything that you might have for this week. I love you guys. I'll be continuing to pray for you, and reach out if you need anything. Have a good week.